Hello, I'm Kråkan, also known as Chorus Cornix, so welcome to Yacc, yet another Crowcast where I pick a game, I play it for a week, and then I'll talk about it. This week's game is Caveman Games for Nintendo Entertainment System. It was released in 1990 and it's a sports game developed by Dynamics and published by Data East USA. And also be some spoilers up ahead, just so you know, but first a little backstory. So on my living room table, I have a notepad of games to play or look into, and the NES section is getting quite large. I have to look into it. At the start of the game, you get the Caveman logo and a splash screen, and these two switch between each other while Joy's music is playing in the background. And then you get to select a number of players, and you have to pick a caveman as well to go with that. So you have Glonk, Krudla, Thog, Ugg, Gronk, and Vincent. And each of these characters, they have their strengths and weaknesses, and the font of the character font is really hard to read here, by the way. So what I'm about to say now doesn't really have any impact on the story whatsoever, but Glonk represents the Central Asia, Grudla represents Western Europe, Thog represents Australia, Gronk represents Africa, Vincent represents North America, and of course each of the characters have flavor text as well, which are kind of funny, but look at it for yourself. And once all of that is done, you can pick between practice, start the games, restart, and Cave of Fame. So in practice, you practice the events. So you have Saber Race, Mate Toss, Clubbing, Fire Start, Dino Race, and Dino Vault. The first event is Saber Race. So in this mode, you need to outrun your opponent while being chased by a saber-toothed tiger. You jump with the B button and tap A repeatedly to run. Also, you need to jump over bushes and water, and your opponent can also push you backwards. You can do the same. There is also a thing with exhaustion that I didn't quite understand, but you can actually exhaust yourself if you tap too much. The game screen is split into two, and at the bottom of the screen you have the saber-toothed tiger, and if you fall behind you will get eaten. The same thing goes for your opponent. And at the end of the level there is a tree you need to climb in order to win. So next up is Mate Toss, and in this mode you actually toss your partner as far as possible. So you swing her or him around with the D-pad and you build up momentum and you get the right angle and throw her or him away. And to be honest, I have no idea how this works because I didn't have a manual, but yeah, it's Mate Toss. Next up is Clubbing, and this game has two phases. First you have Intimidation, where you fight for your position. Then you have the clubbing itself with low, mid, and high attacks. But a game usually ends with either you or your opponent falling off the rock. The next game is called Fire Start. So in this game you need to button mash in order to create fire. You also can hit your opponent in the head with the other stick. You also need to blow on the spark that's created, but this is easier said than done. And I just realized that this editing process is going to be a nightmare for me because I have angry seagulls outside my window. Next up is Dino Race. In this mode you race against your opponent on a dinosaur. You need to tap the A button to run faster. And the final event of the game is Dino Vault, and in this game mode you need to jump over a big-headed Tyrannosaurus Rex with a pole. You can also adjust the dinosaur's head at the beginning of the game for difficulty settings. You tap the A button to run faster, and at the right time you need to sort of make the jump. So I played the game on and off this week, and I can honestly say I never got any better. There's no real completion bonus either. You get your names in the Cave of Fame, but once you reset the console, it's all over. So, gameplay. This is an Olympic cave game. Practice, compete, and win. Control. Depending on a game mode, the controls do a bit of different things, but usually the D-pad is movement and direction. The A button usually involves mashing to do something, and the B button usually jumps, and the stop button pauses. And I should probably mention that this game is played best with a turbo controller. Graphics. So the graphics are okay, but some of the color choices are questionable, and certain game modes look washed out. Sound and music. Keith Tinman made a soundtrack for this game, and this game has a really good soundtrack, by the way. My favorites are Mate Toss, Fire Start, and Saber Race. Easter egg seekers and glitches. Believe it or not, this game actually has a commercial. Look it up on YouTube. I also watched a speedrun this week by Beat Zero, and he beat the game within 4 minutes, so this game is actually really short. So in conclusion I wrote, maybe if you like track and field and Snoopy's Silly Sports Spectacular. For me, however, this is not my thing. I understand the premise is a short sports minigame kind of thing with caveman in that kind of setting. The music's great though, but that's about it. Maybe if I had a manual, I would have known what I was doing, but I didn't have one. But at least I played it so I can check it off my list. So anyway, thank you for listening and for watching, and take care.